Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Newman family just celebrated their matriarch, Nikki Newman, and the party went off brilliantly. There's even hope on the horizon that Victor might accept Claire and Kyle's relationship as a final gift to his wife. But what's coming will cast a dark shadow over all of this, and, for once, we're not talking about anything related to Aristotle Dumas. This has absolutely nothing to do with him. Aside from a few tense conversations and Kyle's bizarro offer to Victor to leave the town and pay him $5 million smackaroos if he hurts Claire, Nikki's birthday went off without a hitch. The only upsetting thing to occur was when Cole suffered another coughing fit and some wooziness whilst on the dance floor with Victoria. Cole's been insisting that he's on the mend from his mystery ailment, but our first clue that might not be the case came when he got dizzy upon standing up at Crimson Lights last week. We should have known something was coming, then, when he turned up late to the birthday bash and blamed it on some complications related to this bug he's been battling. Before we knew it, Cole had suffered a setback and Victoria was hollering for someone to call 911. In typical stubborn male soap character fashion, Cole once again refused to let Victoria call for help and nixed the notion of going to the hospital. Thankfully, he allowed himself to be dragged up to a suite, otherwise he might have infected the whole party and we'd be looking at an entirely different type of storyline. We're not gonna lie, we marked Cole for death when he first started coughing after his return from the business trip weeks ago, but he's since seemed to rally and it appeared as though the plot point would turn out to be, well, pointless. But much like his nagging cough and shortness of breath, this plot is hanging on, and it's Cole's aforementioned stubbornness that has us very concerned. That's where the twist comes in. After Cole left the birthday party, Victor worried that he had the signs of pneumonia. If that's true, Cole's continued refusal to see a doctor or go back to the hospital could cause something that would otherwise be treatable to turn deadly. Alternatively, Cole could have something far more serious that's masquerading as pneumonia, like lung cancer. Delaying treatment could prove to be the difference between life and death for Victoria's man. It's also possible that Cole was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer the first time he went to the hospital, and decided to keep the terrible news to himself so as not to burden Victoria and Claire. He was pretty cagey about his test results. If you don't think this can happen on soaps, just take a look at Bold and Beautiful's Liam, who didn't want anyone to know he had an inoperable brain mass. If that's the case, it explains why Cole is adamant about Victoria not taking him to the hospital. He doesn't want her to discover the truth and he already knows there's nothing that can be done. Either way, it's not looking good for Cole Howard, and the Newman clan, believing he's been battling a common cold, will not only be heartbroken but utterly shocked to lose him so unexpectedly. The devastating young and restless twist that's set to leave the Newman family heartbroken and in shock. For decades, the young and the restless has captured hearts, shattered illusions, and proven that no one is ever truly safe from the winds of fate, especially not the Newman family. But even by the show's high-stakes standards, a shocking twist is looming on the horizon, one so devastating and emotionally seismic that it will rip through Genoa City like a thunderclap. Sources close to production have confirmed a storyline that promises to change the Newman dynasty forever, and fans are already bracing themselves for the heartbreak. A family defined by power, loyalty, and secrets. The Newmans have long stood at the center of Y&R's dramatic vortex. Patriarch Victor Newman, with his unrelenting will and Machiavellian control over business and family alike, has led the family through treacherous waters time and time again. Nikki, his longtime partner and soulmate, has stood beside him through betrayal, alcoholism, and trauma. Together, they've raised a powerful family. Victoria, the poised and often cold successor to Victor's empire. Nick, the ever-loyal but emotionally torn son. Adam, the black sheep with a tortured soul. And Abby, the peacemaker constantly caught in the crossfire. But the upcoming twist threatens to not only upend the family's carefully constructed facade, it may bring about a permanent fracture that no amount of money or influence can mend. A tragedy no one saw coming. It starts quietly, as these things often do. Rumors begin to swirl about a Newman family member facing a dire medical diagnosis. But unlike the soap's usual cliffhangers, this one doesn't allow for miracle cures or last-minute rescues. According to an insider leak from the set, Victoria Newman is diagnosed with a rare and aggressive neurological condition, one that doctors warn is untreatable and will lead to a rapid decline. The news hits the Newman clan like a wrecking ball. Victoria, the icy yet brilliant CEO of Newman Enterprises, has always been the family's iron pillar. Stronger than Victor in many ways, and more ruthless than her brothers when it came to protecting the legacy, she's defined herself through control and perfection. To lose her grip on reality, speech, and mobility, piece by piece, is not just a personal tragedy. It's a death knell for the Newman legacy as it stands. Nick is the first to react. Emotional, impulsive, and fiercely loyal, he lashes out, blaming Victor for pushing Victoria too hard, for handing her the reins of the company when she should have been allowed to live her own life. Abby tries to mediate, but even she is overcome by the gravity of what's unfolding. And then there's Adam, who, in a move that shocks everyone, steps forward with a quiet dignity and offers his support to the sister he's fought bitterly for years. Adam's redemption arc, or something else. Fans have long debated whether Adam Newman is a misunderstood antihero or an irredeemable villain. In the wake of Victoria's diagnosis, he seems poised to take on a new role. Offering to help at Newman Enterprises while Victoria's condition worsens, Adam shows a compassion and steadiness that even Nikki begins to acknowledge. There are scenes of him sitting at Victoria's bedside, telling her stories from their childhood, tears slipping down his usually stoic face. It's poignant, it's heartbreaking, and it may not be as pure as it seems. Because here's where the twist takes a darker turn. The secret that could shatter everything. As Victoria's health deteriorates, she begins to experience cognitive symptoms, hallucinations, memory loss, and confusion. In one harrowing scene, she confesses something to her mother Nikki that sends shockwaves through the family. "I did something, years ago, something terrible. And now I think it's coming back to haunt me." At first, Nikki assumes it's the disease talking. But Victoria continues, tearfully recounting a moment in her past that has never come to light, a secret affair that produced a child she gave up in secret, Victor's grandchild, lost to the world. As Nikki begins to dig, she uncovers the truth. In her 20s, before her marriage to Billy, Victoria had a brief, intense relationship with a man from Europe during a summer spent abroad. The relationship ended badly, and when she found out she was pregnant, she kept it from everyone. Desperate not to disappoint her father or jeopardize her role in the family, she arranged for a quiet adoption through a private agency. That child would be 22 years old now, and no one in the family knew. The lost Newman. The search begins quietly at first, led by Nikki and Nick. Adam, sensing something is going on, begins his own investigation, suspecting it has to do with the power vacuum Victoria's illness will inevitably create. When the truth comes out, that Victor has another grandchild, possibly an heir to the empire, it sparks a firestorm. Victor is stunned. The man who prides himself on knowing and controlling everything in his world is blindsided. The news that his daughter kept such a monumental secret from him sends him into an emotional spiral. He's hurt, angry, and terrified. Who is this child? What do they know about the Newmans? And most importantly, are they coming for what's theirs? Enter Isabella March, a brilliant, ambitious young woman who has been working in London's financial sector, and who has just received a mysterious letter telling her that her biological mother is Victoria Newman. Played by a rising young actress whose casting has been kept tightly under wraps, Isabella is intelligent, driven, and fiercely independent. When she comes to Genoa City to meet her biological family, she's greeted not with open arms, but with suspicion, fear, and hostility. Except from one person, Adam. A dangerous alliance. Adam sees in Isabella not just a kindred spirit, but a potential ally. Together, they begin working on a strategic plan to protect the Newman legacy from the chaos unfolding around them. Victoria's condition worsens. Nick becomes increasingly unstable, battling his emotions and spiraling into old habits. Abby tries to keep the family from imploding. And Victor, he's torn between trying to embrace this new granddaughter and fearing she might be the end of everything he's built. Adam whispers doubts into Isabella's ears. "They'll never really accept you. You know that, don't you? But with me, you'll have power. You'll have purpose." Whether Isabella is truly falling under Adam's influence, or playing her own long game, is one of the burning questions fans are asking. The devastation comes full circle. In a cruel twist of fate, Victoria's final lucid moment comes during a family gathering. She's frail, her voice barely above a whisper, but she looks around the room, at her father, her children, her estranged brothers, and says, "Don't let this destroy us." And then, she's gone. The grief is immediate, visceral, and overwhelming. Victor is inconsolable. Nikki collapses in tears. Nick shuts down completely. But perhaps the most surprising reaction comes from Adam, who weeps silently beside his sister's hospital bed. Whether out of genuine love or the crushing weight of guilt, we may never know. But as the family mourns, one thing is clear, the Newman dynasty is forever changed. What's next? The storyline that follows promises more twists. The battle over Newman Enterprises, Isabella's true intentions, a shocking will change that puts her in a position of unexpected power, and a family fractured beyond recognition. Will Adam finally claim the empire he's always believed he deserves? Will Isabella prove to be a unifier, or a destroyer? And will Victor, now more vulnerable than ever, manage to hold the pieces of his shattered legacy together? One thing is certain, The Young and the Restless has once again delivered a storyline that is as heartbreaking as it is brilliant. With Victoria's fall, the rise of a mysterious heir, and the slow unraveling of the Newman family from within, fans are in for one of the most unforgettable arcs in soap opera history. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our Update World 24 YouTube channel for more update news.